Welcome to Gigs and Gab, the online show that asks the question, is it possible to make a profit as a singer-songwriter? We'll answer that question later. Anyhow, welcome to the Mark Buerschaper channel. This show is going to feature a little bit of discussion on inspiration for some of the songs I've written. Also going to talk a little bit about different songwriting subjects, performance subjects, things like that. And also feature some blatant advertisements for my current releases and also show appearances. So, let me clue you in here. Normally a lot of shows have a teleprompter, but they have a very large budget. My budget's like this, right here. So I'm going to have my teleprompter, also known as my papers or notes. But anyhow, what I'd like to talk about here is I'm a Nashville-based singer-songwriter. I previously performed in the Chicago, Illinois area at various coffee houses. And I personally love to play coffee houses because of the people at those venues usually like to hear acoustic music and lyrics, as opposed to bars I've played where people more or less go there to get laid, fail, get depressed, and get drunk and then hurl chunks or something like that. Having said that, I'll talk a little bit about coffee houses. You know, I played at them for years, and you wonder what the origins were of coffee houses, so just kind of looked it up on Wikipedia. And Wikipedia says it's primarily was established to share characteristics of bars and restaurants, which they say is different from a cafeteria, which I guess we know the difference on that. The name suggests coffee house focus on providing coffee and tea as well as light snacks. They originated in the Middle East and West Asia, and also immigrant districts in the Western world. They served largely as centers of social interaction, a place to congregate, talk, write and read, and then entertain one another and pass the time individually or in small groups of 2 or 3. So there you go. Don't bring any large numbers of people to the coffee house. At least back then you didn't. In the United States, the French word for coffee house, as many of us know, café. It's an informal restaurant offering a range of hot meals. Coffee shops in the United States arose from the espresso and pastry-centered Italian coffee houses of the Italian-American immigrant communities in major U.S. cities, most notably New York's Little Italy, Greenwich Village, and Boston's North End and San Francisco's North Beach. From the late 1950s onward, coffee houses also served as a venue for entertainment, most comically, yeah, it could be comical, most commonly, folk performers during the American folk music revival. This was likely due to ease the accommodations in a small space of which a lone performer could accompany himself or herself with only a guitar. Greenwich Village and North Beach became major haunts of the Beats, also known as beatniks, I believe, who were highly identified with coffee houses. As the youth culture of the 1960s evolved, non-Italians consciously copied these coffee houses, and the political nature of the 1960s folk music made the music a natural tie-in with coffee houses and their association with political action. Well-known performers like Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, and blues singer Lightning Hopkins attended these. And a little note here on Lightning Hopkins, wrote a song called Coffee House Blues because he bemoaned, this is according to Wikipedia, bemoaned his woman's inattentiveness to her domestic situation due to her overindulgence in the coffee house, socializing. That's interesting. I've heard songs about this concerning bars, but never coffee houses. So, anyhow, There was, starting in 1967 with the opening of the historic Last Exit on Brooklyn Coffee House, Seattle also became known for its thriving countercultural coffee scene. The Starbucks chain, it says, later standardized and mainstreamed this espresso bar model. So there you have the history of the coffee house summed up pretty quickly, but I don't want to go into too deep of a discussion. This isn't that long of a show. So that's a bit of history on the coffee house. It's interesting, I found it interesting because coffee houses today, they don't serve the same function as they did in the past, really, for discussions of politics or civil rights. Most people get that on the internet or cable TV, network news, supposedly informative network news. But you go to a coffee house today, most people will probably not do that so much socializing. I mean, there are exceptions, but it seems like most of the coffee houses I go to, a lot of people have their noses buried in their laptop, and they really don't talk to the person next to them or around them, kind of in their own world. But it seems a shame, but it seems like it's part of the modern society we live in. As I said, I'm sure there's exceptions, so I don't want to be getting any mail saying, I go to the coffee house and I talk to all the people around me. You know, just generalization of things I've seen in coffee houses I have been to and played at. But anyhow, enough about that. I'm going to perform this week's song. First, a little commercial. Stop by my website at www.mbuerschaper.com. Got it spelled right here. You can copy it down or rewind the video if you just feel the urge to go to the website, which I hope you do, because my budget's this big. And anyhow, you can hear my latest release, Nashville Byline. It's my latest collection of tunes, and it should be available for sale online in about 4 weeks on many of the major retailers like iTunes, digital download types of things. I'll have a list of them on the website, and I'll probably name them off on the next episode of Gigs N Gab. Both of my previous releases, Triple Love Bookends and No Figment of Imagination, are currently available online, and I hope you go there and check it out. Maybe you'll download this song, which I'm going to play now. This is called Second Shift Blues, and I performed it in many coffee houses. I usually open my set with it many times, so I figure it was appropriate to open the video broadcast here with it. This song's really about, I felt somewhat isolated when I began working on a second shift at a job. I had worked the first shift, and it really just changed my sleeping pattern, socialization, shopping, because you get off second shift, all your friends are asleep. There's nowhere to really go shop. Everything's closed. You know, there's nowhere to go to other than bars, and we kind of discussed the bars earlier in this broadcast. So, anyhow, so this is what this song's about, and I hope you enjoy it. And as I said, it's called Second Shift Blues. For my eyes, I should be sleeping. That ain't no lie. When that happens, you go to second shift blue. Second shift blue, yeah, it's live. Life book, I used to walk the town. Now there's nobody around. Well, kick your feet up, yeah, your case of these blues. Second shift blues. a case of these blues. Second shift blues. Second shift blues. Yeah, second shift blues. Second shift blues. Second shift blues. Second Shift Blues. Hope you enjoyed it. The recording features a little more instrumentation, you know, bass. I think there's some mandolin on there. As a matter of fact, I know there is. And you can get that at Reverb Nation. My site at Reverb Nation. Just go to the nbuerschaper.com. It's also on iTunes. So I hope you've enjoyed this first video edition, which I didn't mention. This was my old newsletter when I was in Chicago. Excuse me. Oh, a little cup of coffee here. That's better. This is a video presentation of my last newsletter, Gigs N Gab, which I used to do in Chicago. And make a little plug here. If you can make it, come on out to the Commodore Grill in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're in the area, I'll be performing at 9:30 p.m. and that's going to be on the 1st of March. So if you can make it, come on by. You can get directions from the website. And also, on the next installment of Gigs N Gab, I'll be talking a little bit about open tunings. I'll be performing a song that featured an open tuning. And if you have any questions or comments, drop me a line at www.nbuerschaper.com. So that's it for now, and keep it real, stay strong, and may your coffee be strong.